Hey guys, today we're going to talk about bowling. Now I realize you probably don't have your own bowling set at home, but if you check out the Google Classroom in the classwork section, I do have a video on water bottle bowling where I filled up water bottles about halfway and kind of just used what I had at home to make my own set of bowling pins. Okay, but I've got our school set right here, so I'm going to show you how this works so when we get back to campus, you know how to set everything up. Okay, first of all, our bowling ball. This has two different sets of hand grips, okay? One for smaller hands and one for larger. This, of course, isn't a real bowling ball, because a real bowling ball would break rather easily. And these can be damaged too. So when you're out here, use the bowling ball correctly. We don't want to bounce it or kick it, because you could hurt yourself or you could damage the ball. Okay, but for your hand grip, I'm going to take these two fingers here and your thumb. Your two fingers go on these two holes right here, and your thumb goes on the bottom. So here, this is how it looks when you hold the ball. Now, if you aren't quite as strong, I always recommend you start off by holding this additional hand here, my left hand, for more support on the ball as you're getting ready to bowl. Okay? Now, your pins. As we explained in the water bottle bowling video, this is a game used to be called 10-pin, because there are 10 pins that you set up when you bowl. 4 in the back row, and then 3, 2, and 1 in the front. So it looks kind of like, I don't know, pyramid shape, triangle shape. Now make sure you don't put the pins too close together, because if you hit one, they're all just going to fall down super easy. So you need to have space between each of the individual pins. Now when it's your turn to go, you actually get 2 rolls, 2 chances to knock down all 10 pins. And if you knock down all 10 pins on the first roll, that's called a strike. In that case, you don't need a second try because you already knocked them all down. But if you don't knock them all down on the first try, then you get a second opportunity to finish. Okay, now remember, when you roll, low to the ground. So don't stand straight up and down and just drop it like that. That's not going to be very effective. Now when you go to the real bowling alley, you'll see people who have bowled a lot. They can put a spin on the ball and it kind of curves in like, whoa. Can't really do that. That particular type of surface, particular type of ball is perfect for doing that at the bowling alley. You can't really do that outside. So what you want to do is just roll it as straight as you can. So straighten that arm out and get low to the ground. So once again, I'll use my other hand for support. I get low and I straighten it out. Alright, so I knocked down a total of 6 pins on my first roll. So I'm going to go ahead and get my ball, and I'm going to take my second chance. Alright, once I take my second roll, then we'll go over how the scoring would look. And we don't really keep score when we're at school unless you want to, but it's kind of nice to know how to do it, okay? So once again, low to the ground, nice and straight. Alright, so there we go. I knocked down 2 more. So there's 2 pins that are still up. So for my score that round, that would be 8. Now let's say, for example, on that second roll, I knocked down the rest on the second roll. That's called a spare. And that's not actually worth 10. It's going to be worth more than 10. So what happens on a spare, that's when you knock them all down on the second try, you wait for your next roll. And then that's like a bonus ball. You add that back to your first round score. So let's say, for example, first time I go, I get a spare. I'm up again for the second time. Now I roll that ball and I knock down 3. So instead of 10 points for my first frame, I get to add that 3 as a bonus. So my score for the first round would actually be 13. Now if you get a strike, then you get to add the next 2 times you roll back as a bonus. So let's say the first round I got a strike. Second time I'm up, I knock down 3 the first time and 6 the second time. So in my second frame, that'd be a total of 9 points. In my first frame, I get to add those 9 points back as a bonus because I got a strike. So instead of having 10 for that first frame, I actually have 19. So you get more points the more spares and strikes that you get. All right, guys, that's all for bowling today. We will catch you next time.